Well, Cindy, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so glad to have you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So let's go right into it. Can you share with everybody just how did ASEA cross your path? What was your journey with this technology, with this company? How did it all get started?
So I've been in health and wellness full time for 25 years now. And so I worked with another company before I was introduced to ASEA. And basically what we did was we recreated a natural environment inside your home that allowed your body to do what it's designed to do, which is heal itself. So we live in these, artificial environments. So we're separated from Earth's magnetic field. We are separated from the sun's far infrared rays. We don't drink, mineralized alkaline hexagonal water molecules. We don't breathe in those negative ions that you get when you walk by a waterfall. And so what we were doing with this Japanese company is we were bringing in modalities into the home that would recreate that, that natural environment that our bodies and our minds and our emotions, quite frankly, we thrive in. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I'm very passionate about that, because if you don't have your health, it doesn't matter what kind of car you drive. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter, travel. You can't do anything if you're not healthy.
Yep.
So it's your absolutely number one asset, and, it's your most important investment. So I've been encouraging people and teaching people about modalities that help your body heal itself for 25 years. But before I was involved in ASEA, you can have the best products on the face of the planet, but if it's in the hands of the wrong people, you're in big trouble.
Yikes.
And unfortunately, the company that I was associated with, it started out being a global mission, and it turned out just to be a way of making money. And that got
Mhm.
gross. I mean, there's lots of ways of making money in the world.
Yeah.
I really wanted to do something important. I wanted to do something that mattered. I wanted to do something that people were grateful for, and that lit people up, and that kind of stuff. So I had to be more of a mission. So when that company lost its soul, basically, I left. I just left.
Mhm.
And the interesting thing, if you trust your gut will guide you. And, we had an incredible doctor named Dr. Nairan Naidu. We brought in for this Japanese company to teach people about how their bodies work. And most people take, what's going on in their body, which is absolutely intricate and absolutely amazing, for granted. And so he
Yeah.
was teaching us about these miracles that are happening at a cellular level right now in each of our bodies. And it was just amazing. And from that presentation, we sold a little bit of product and we sponsored a couple people. And I just went, I'm out. Cause I can't, that was Academy Award material. It was fabulous, but it wasn't effective. And so I don't understand how to do this anymore. So I'm going to go put my time and energy in something else. And I left. And because I was making residual income, because it was a business model that paid me in residual income, I had the luxury of not working for 9 months while I figured out my next step. So I mowed my lawn, I walked my dog, and I took hot baths for 9 months because I was physically, emotionally, mentally fried. And then our friends that we had worked with in this Japanese company called us from Montana, and they told us about this company that they said, we found it. We found it. This is an unbelievable company. And I thought, oh gosh, darn it. And the interesting thing is I had prayed the night before, and I said, because you can imagine 9 months of doing those things. So finally I was healed enough, strong enough to do something.
Yeah.
So I put out a big prayer to the universe, and I said, okay, I know each of us were put on this planet to do something important. I don't know what my purpose is anymore. What am I supposed to do? And the next day, our friends called us from Montana and told us about this
Wow.
company called ASEA.
Oh, wow.
But honestly, I didn't trust it because it was another network marketing business model, which most people don't understand. And I thought, oh, I don't know if I have the trust I don't know. And so what I did, which was really turned out to be beneficial, is I um, we had done well enough in our previous company to be flown here and flown there. So we were wined and dined by all these network marketing companies that were in the health and wellness space that were based in the United States for the next 6 months or so. And we evaluated it from a product perspective, a business perspective, philosophy, timing in the marketplace, compensation plan, field leadership, corporate leadership, lots of different angles. And the last thing I put on my list, I said, for me and Bo to put our time and energy into another network marketing company, it has to check all 8 boxes. And so we had some of those boxes that I just mentioned, but the last box was I wanted to discover the next billion-dollar company in its infancy. And I'd never done that before, but I thought, wouldn't that be cool if I could find a company that nobody else knew about and, grow with it? And, when you get really clear about what you want, it's amazing what shows up.
Yes.
And, so when we finally flew in to check out ASEA top to bottom, I knew I was home. I had found it. And I thought, you know what? The science is there. The philosophy is there. The integrity is there. The timing is there. The opportunity is here. And I literally flipped from, is this good enough for me, to, am I good enough for this?
Wow.
I mean, it was the biggest thing I'd ever seen. And so that's how we were introduced.
That's incredible. I don't think I knew all of that. I didn't realize the prayer went out the night before. And it's amazing. Like you said, the universe just provides. And when you're asking, you'll receive it. And I've been inspired by you since I met you. Gosh, 8 years ago, whenever it was, 9 years ago. And you have two things that kind of guide you. So talk to me about what it is that you kind of always come back to, almost like your core principles that help you make decisions, make you navigate things. Like, talk to me about that, because it's always fascinated me.
Yeah. So Michael Gerber wrote a book called The E-Myth. And in that book, he says, if your business requires your presence, you don't have a business, you have a job.
Mm.
When I read that, I thought, wait a minute, I've never thought of earning money beyond my own physical presence.
Yeah.
I'm a good worker. I'm a hard worker. I'm a loyal worker. But what do you mean I can earn money when I'm not there? That concept absolutely fascinated me. And I grew up making television commercials. So I had learned about residual income because I went out and played softball, and, they shot the film. And then every time the commercial was shown, I got paid, and I wasn't working. I was going to school.
Yeah.
So I understood the concept, but I thought, wow, could I get this going in the real world without writing a book or making a movie or something?
Mm-hmm.
So that concept has always fascinated me because I paid for my college education with my commercial money. I mean, it was very
Oh,
lucrative.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So then the other concept that really I constantly come back to is, if we don't adapt to our changing world, our rapidly changing world, we're going to be beautifully prepared for a world that no longer exists.
Mm.
And that I got from Bob Proctor, and I just thought, wow, you know what? Because if you keep on doing the same old, the same old's not there anymore. And we know that, post pandemic, and, it's more than ever now.
Yeah, the world's changed a lot, and it's only going to continue to change. I mean, just look at what AI is doing and where it's going and how fast it's moving. It's like, yeah, the world is changing right in front of us, and we need to adapt to it and figure out how to make life easier for ourselves, free up our time. And I want to go back to your first concept, because I didn't understand that notion. I got a great education. I went to one of our top universities, the University of Virginia, graduated, was going to go on to graduate school, because this was the track that kind of society said, oh, this is success. Like, this is what you should be doing so you can get a good job. But, I lost my health and therefore couldn't work. And it became very apparent to me that, hang on a second, like, if you can't put in hours and you can't get paid, like, what do you do? And when I got my health back, I thought I wanted something like you just described. Like, is it possible to do something where I put in some time up front and it can pay me on the back end? Now, talk to me about how network marketing accomplishes that. Like, why is ASEA sort of checking that box for you and creating that space for you?
Because we can build a team. So I'm constantly looking for entrepreneurial thinkers. A lot of people that are entrepreneurial thinkers don't consider themselves entrepreneurs, but they've got entrepreneurial thinking. So, for example, I don't know if you considered yourself an entrepreneur.
No.
I consider you an entrepreneur now.
Yeah.
But when you found ASEA, I don't know if you considered yourself an entrepreneur. I don't know that I considered myself an entrepreneur, but I am an entrepreneurial thinker. So
Mhm.
that's who I'm looking for is entrepreneurial thinkers, people who are, you know, sick and tired of being sick and tired, or they want to live a life that matters. They don't feel like what they're doing matters, or they don't feel like what they're doing is appreciated.
Yeah.
You know, they want to be part of something that, you know, when you look back on your life, you want to pat yourself on the back and go, you know what? I did it, man. I did it. I stretched myself. I have no regrets. I'm dirty. I'm scratched. I'm scarred. I'm bruised, but man, did I have a good time. You know, you don't, at least for me, I didn't want to die. I don't want to die safe. I don't
Yeah.
want to go, well, I don't have any bruises and no scratches, and I never made any mistakes, and now I'm going to die. Well, that's not my life, you know? So I have screwed up all over the place. I've made so many mistakes, you know, but I've learned, and I've met incredible people. And what I've realized is the people that I admire the most, they, when I'm stretching myself and I'm nervous and I'm awkward and I'm feeling uncomfortable, they
Yeah.
admire that. They were like, I've
Mm.
been there, you know, I've been you. I admire that you're courageous enough to struggle. And because a lot of people are so stuck in their comfort zone, so afraid to get out of that cubicle, you know, so afraid of getting, you know, risking the boundaries, that they don't live their life, you know. And that the thing is, we live in a free country, and if that's the life you choose, God bless you. That's the way, you know, we all have the opportunity to choose. And so, you know, but if there's somebody out there that's willing to take your hand and say, let me show you the way, because I did not know the way, but
Right.
I saw other people that had done what I wanted to do. And I said, will you teach me? And I'm an athlete.
Yeah.
I've had coaches my whole life, but I never had a business coach.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
so I needed a business coach because I'd tried this network marketing thing before, and I was horrible at it. I tried it in Boston 5, 6 times. And it, you know, I didn't, you know, you went to the meeting, you got all excited, you signed the paper, you got the pack, you went home, the pack arrived, you know, you call your sponsor, what do I do? Go sell it to who? Anybody, you know. And when your mother-in-law sees you coming for the 5, 6 time, oh, sweetheart, what do you have now? How much is it, you know? So, you know, I thought, okay, it's a great concept. It's a fascinating concept, but, and it might work for some people, it just doesn't work for me. But the reason it didn't work for me was because I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't do, you know, it well, because I didn't have a coach. And so as soon as I got a business coach, a mentor that said, I've earned this amount of money per week, which was more than I would earn in a year. You know, I mean, I didn't even know that was possible. I'm like, what? You earned that this week? Wait a minute. What the heck? Teach me, you know?
Yeah.
And so when I had somebody who had already done it, who was willing to teach me, and he said, not Cindy, not only will I teach you, but it would be a bad business decision for me not to teach you, because I get a percentage of your success. So
Mm.
I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get this. So we have thousands and thousands of people in our ASEA network, and we get overrides on their success. And so it's not a dog eat dog rat race world where, you know, if you do your job better than I do my job, you're going to take my job. It's
Right.
not like that. You know, I hope that you are better at this than I am, because I get a percentage of your success, and I'm not going to hold any information back from you, because I want you to blossom into the most amazing person that you were born to be, and, you know, channel that wisdom and energy and passion into ASEA, and then we can all win. If in network marketing, if it doesn't end in a win all the way around, then you haven't come up with the right solution. It's a win-win business.
Yeah.
And most people are so confused by this business model. And quite frankly, there's some companies out there that, oh, I wouldn't want to come 10 feet, you know, 100 feet from
Yeah.
those companies. They just don't have good ethics.
Yeah.
But this company, I guess the reason I was so attracted to ASEA is it's a biotech company that chose a word of mouth business model.
Mhm.
And that's very different. It's not a company that said, hey, let's start a network marketing company. What do you want to sell? It's the exact opposite. And so the people that we attract are so amazing. You know, when you get around people that are like-minded, you
Mhm.
feel strong.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you're crazy because you think, oh my gosh, all these people get it. They all get it.
Yeah.
When you go out in the world, now you have to remember we're in an educational business. And so when you're teaching people about a biotech discovery that's never been done before, you're doing business ahead of the curve. That's the good news and the bad news. It's
Exactly.
not, you're not just replacing something they're buying anyway with something they're now going to buy from you. It's not like that.
Mhm.
You're teaching them about something they've never purchased and in educating them why it probably is the most important investment they'll ever make.
Yeah.
So it's a different, very different kind of business.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. And it's interesting. I think people, they're scared to trade like this known hell that they're in for an unknown heaven. They don't see the path. And what is incredible, you hit the nail on the head, which is finding a mentor and a coach. I went to my first event and I ran into you, your husband, and several others that said, Danielle, just do what we tell you to do. Get out there, put in the effort. Like, you've got the energy, you've got the desire, you've got everything. Just put in the energy into this the way we tell you to do it, and it will grow. And it's the truth. And I kept myself around a community of people that had already achieved what I was looking for, right? You got to get in the rooms with the people that have already done what your dream is, because then it's proof positive to your mind that it works. And it's also something that, you know, your environment is everything, right? And I think this is probably one of the biggest challenges, and I'd like you to talk about it, which is rejection. Like, the people around you, usually friends, family, they kind of discourage people from starting in this or look down upon it. And it's a difficult thing to navigate. So how do you help somebody that's just getting out, just getting started? What advice would you give around this sort of rejection, or like the fact that the masses say, well, it doesn't work?
So, number one, I am much more afraid of mediocrity than I am of rejection.
Hmm.
I do not want to live a mediocre life. I'm an all or nothing person.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I realize that we're black sheep living in a world of white sheep,
Yeah.
and we are breaking the mold. And so I'm not looking for everybody. I'm looking for other black sheep. I'm looking for other black sheep that are not willing to follow the other lemmings off the cliff. They're willing to go, you know what? I think that cliff out there looks dangerous. I'm going to turn around and go the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be bamboozled by the television commercials that make me believe that everything is solved with a drug, and in 20 minutes my problem is going to be gone. However, I might have all these side effects. I mean, if you listen to those drug commercials and you still swallow that stuff, well then, you're exercising your free right. But I am not one of those people. My mother's a nurse from Yale, and when we had a headache growing up, she gave us a glass of water. I
Mm.
mean, so, I do not, I believe that the answers are within us. I believe that the body is the healer. I don't believe any drug is the healer. I'm not saying that drugs aren't necessary sometimes to help our bodies get back into homeostasis,
Yeah.
but that's what ASEA redox does, is it helps our body get back into homeostasis. So if there are natural ways of helping the body do what it's designed to do, which is heal itself, I'm all over that. I much rather do that. I mean, when in this other company that was, from Japan, in Japan, your doctor does not get paid unless you're healthy. So you pay your doctor a monthly retainer to keep you healthy. And then as soon as you get sick, you stop paying your doctor until they get you healthy again. So they study wellness over there. They don't study
Mhm.
sickness, they study wellness. We study cadavers. Well, there's
Wow.
not a whole lot of energy in a cadaver, right? So they, the Chinese medicine, the Asian, medicine, the Japanese healthcare system is so smart. And what they do is they do all the natural stuff to try to get your body to come back into balance. And if none of those things work, then they'll introduce medicine, and which are chemical medicine versus, food medicine or herbal medicine, that kind of thing, drug medicine. And if that doesn't work, then they'll perform surgery. But those are the last two things. In the United States, it's exactly reversed, and we jump to the pills and we jump to the surgery because we want a quick fix, because we're so flippant impatient. And we're so, I think, it's a hasty way to be. And we're coming around. And the word that I keep hearing out there is longevity. It's all about longevity, because nobody wants to live to 120 years old if you're going to be, on a feeding machine the last 20 years. You want to live a good quality of life until your time is over, and then you want to die. So that's how life is designed. So, if you've taken good care of this vehicle called your body and your mind, and you've lived a passionate life, when you're done, you're done. But you're not going to, limp and choke into the finish line. You're just going to hopefully die in your sleep. And I saw Trevor, what's his name? Oh my gosh, the comedian from South Africa. I can't say.
Oh yeah, I can't think of his name either. I can picture him.
Name is Trevor, and I can't think of his last name right this second. It just escapes me. But what he said was, he was doing a comedy routine the other day, and he said, "They did it." And I'm like, "Oh, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do?" He said, "They did it. They died of old age. They didn't die of a car accident. They didn't die of a drive-by shooting. They died of old age. That's how we're supposed to die, of old age, and being healthy until we finally die, not being kept alive with drugs and, surgeries and everything, and, hating our life and hoping we die. The idea is to love our life, live boldly, be one of those people that say, "You're 93?" because they're out walking with you, hiking with you, whatever they're doing. Klaus Obermeyer here in Aspen is 103 years old. And he's I don't know if he's still skiing. He had a really bad fall a couple of years ago and broke his femur. So I'm not sure if he's still skiing, but he's got a huge smile. He's out there. I mean, he's the talk of the town, 150 years old and going strong,
Amazing.
Yeah.
You have me lit up. This is why I love being around you. And for those of you listening, guys, this is what we're talking about when we say like a community of like minds. Cindy put it so perfectly, like other black sheep, people that are just looking at life a little bit differently, looking at their health differently, looking at their options for income differently, looking at their time differently, the freedoms that they want to exercise differently. Like, this is what we do here. Like it touches my soul when I hear you talk, because I'm like, yes, yes. And I want this for everyone. So guys, if this is resonating with you, reach out. My information will be in the description. You can reach out. I can get you in touch with Cindy, get you in touch with myself, obviously. And we're happy to talk with you, happy to work with you. If you want to be part of something like this, we need good people. We're looking for those people that have that entrepreneurial spirit. I love what you said, like thinkers. I wouldn't have classified myself that way, but if you think a little bit differently than the average person, this might be for you. Cindy, any closing thoughts before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to tell you about a guy a bartender that I sponsored 2 days ago, who had long haulers, COVID, awful lung problems. And he used to be a professional soccer player. He's an amazing guy from Sydney, Australia. I remember going into the bar, and he was so buff and so tan and so healthy and so athletic, and then we came into the bar, a year later or something, and he was pale and thin, and, he had lost hair, and, he never complained. So, but you could tell he was struggling. And, I mentioned what we do to him a couple of times, and finally we got to be really good friends. And I said, "JP, you got to take a look at this." Well, he's sending me these messages. "Cindy, I slept through the night. I haven't slept through the night in 2 to 3 years." He is all over this. He took one sip of ASEA and went, I swear to you, you're going to think I'm making this up, but I already feel a difference. I watched his color go from pale to pink while we were there, you know, while he was fixing the TV to try to get the bar open for the football game. I'm telling you, we get paid in goosebumps, and that's the added bonus for the money that we make, because it takes a lot of energy to do this business. Because remember, we're breaking new ground. We're like one of those ships in Antarctica breaking through the ice to try to, you know, make people understand what we're trying to do. So it's not a, you know, you're going to get a lot of friction. You're going to get a lot of, you know, confusion. You're going to get a lot of curiosity. You're going to, you know what I mean? So it's, you have to be a warrior. But the payment beyond the money is the gratitude that people extend to you when you've changed their life, you've improved their life, you've been additive in a good way, you've been a force for good in the world. So that's the cool part. That's the coolest part of this business.
The best part. And you gave me goosebumps just talking about it. So, I absolutely love it. What a beautiful note to end on. Cindy, thank you for carving out some time, for joining me, for sharing, you know, your insights, your wisdom, your fire, your passion. You're making a big difference in this world, and it is because of you. You were one of the links in the chain that brought this to my world and changed my life for forever. And I am eternally grateful for that.
Yeah, and you've impacted so many people, Danielle. You're just completely admired in this network. You know, we're all doing this together. It's about improving the world, being a force together, you know, because none of us by ourselves are as powerful as we are together.
Well said. Well said. All right. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this. Like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and we look forward to seeing you on the other side.
Thanks, Danielle.